find out. It should be available for you as well, but you have to find out the process. So we continue. We did linked lists a week ago, not last time, because last time we practiced for the program. What was our lecture on linked list? What was the number one goal of the lecture for linked list? Traverse. Very good. It was traversing. And we spent a lot of the lecture talking about one statement, like 10 minutes, talking about one line. Anybody remember the line? Help pointer equals help pointer dot next. What does that one line do?
Traverse from the node to another.
Who remembers this? Very important. Help pointer equals help pointer dot next. Lets us take a step from one node to the next node. So we said, I'm a help pointer, I'm help pointer. Name? Khalid pointing to Amr. Can you point? And I'm pointing to Khalid. I'm the help pointer. If I want to point to Amr, من يعرف عنوان عمر؟ Khalid. وبالضبط the next of Khalid. So where is the address of Amr? It's right here. How do I get that? Help pointer dot next. So help pointer dot next is the unwan of Amr. So I say help pointer dot next. This is the unwan of Amr, and I save that address into help pointer. Natija, I pointer Amr. Who's with me? We did that last time, and we showed you that we can do that statement jua a while loop again and again and again and again, allowing us to traverse our list. This was the big goal of last time, and I tried to impress it upon you. I tried to suggest and push you to go review that lecture, because I said that this is the most important lecture maybe of the semester, because linked list is arguably the most important of the semester, because everything builds on top of linked list. And for the rest of the linked list lectures, insertion, deletion, and then we have a lecture on just practicing different methods. All of these lectures you must traverse. If you want to insert, you must traverse to the correct location to insert. You want to delete, you must find the node that you want to delete. How do you insert? How do you traverse? How do you find the node? Traversing. So you must know traversing perfectly. So the operations, we said there's many. We can add a new node, delete a node, search for a node, count nodes, sum the nodes. Many methods we will do. All of these methods require traversal, which was from last time. This was our linked list class. If you remember, we had two classes. Yes? What was the first class? The first class was LL node. This class was used for what purpose? To create one node. بعدين create another node. This was a class used just to create the nodes. Single nodes. How do we connect the nodes together? How do we control the list? We use a second class, another class. What is the name of this class? Linked list, or S-linked list. Okay? Whatever you call it. But this is the class for the actual list. This class has one mutaghayyir, one variable, muhim jiddan. What is it called? My list, or head. I think on my code for the website, I used head. Okay? The head of the list. And we gave you one example method. Is empty. To show you a method to test, is our list empty? How do we know if it's empty? If the head is null, return true. وَلَذَلِكَ return false. It's not empty. Okay? And we said other methods will go here in this class. Methods to insert nodes into the list. Method to delete from the list. Methods to count the objects in the list. And so on. Many, many methods. So operations that we want to do is insertion. We say linked lists are linear structures. We told you this before, like an array. It's a linear structure. Therefore, there should be some type of order. of the nodes. Is it alphabetical order? Is it order based on the ID of the object? But there should be some type of order. It's usually called a key-based order. A key-based order. What is key, miftah? And I don't know if you say that's in Arabic, but a key-based order where we say the order is based off of a key. Like in database, you will study the key. So here, what is the key? It depends on the object. If we have a linked list of students, maybe the key is the student ID. Are you with me? The key? The key-based order, an order based on some important value. Maybe the important value is the university ID. If it's a linked list of passengers for an airline, maybe it's the ticket ID, or maybe it's national ID, or whatever, right? So this would be the key. So key-based orders are the most common, and this is what we'll focus on, because the linked list should have some type of order. Maybe the key is a first name, last name combination. Maybe that's the key. Like alphabetically, by first name, last name, okay? So we will focus on a key-based order. We want to add nodes to our list. How do we add nodes to our list? There's 4 steps. The first step is we must use the LL node class, and we must create a new node. Step number 1. If you want to add a new node to the list, you must create the node. واضح. Number 2, you must find the insertion location. Okay? We must find the insertion location. What is your name? Hamid. Khalid. Umar. Name? Abd. Ahmed. We're not working with me here. Name? All A's. We have Ghassan and so Hamid, Khalid. It's not a good enough line, but this will work. Wait. Now it's backwards. Name? All right, Baha. Abdullah. Y'all can't sit alphabetically for me? What's that? So, Baha, I want to go to Ghassan. Anybody between a B and a G? What's between a B and a G? I don't know. A C, D, F. A. Yeah, khalas, Muhammad. You're Muhammad today. Okay? So, go from Khalid to... let's go from Baha. So from Baha to, I can't do Umar, to Ghassan to Muhammad. It would be better if we have somebody here. Name? We're going to spend an hour dealing with this. Name? Majid. Okay. So from Baha to Majid to Muhammad. Yeah, wait, no, this is good enough. Whew. And Umar, just trust me, we'll go at the end, because in English we spell it with a U. It's an Ayn, but it was spelled with a U, صح? So you will go, we don't want to do it at the end. So, khalas, we're going to put you in the middle somewhere. Your name is Yahya. You're the last one. You're going to see the point. So, Baha to Majid. Can you point? And Majid, can you point over to our friend Yahya? Okay? It's a great name. So, now, we want to insert Umar. Alphabetically, where would he go? He would go after Baha, he would go after Majid, so you, and he would go before the Y. He would go right here, alphabetically. Okay? So you put your hand down. We want to find the insertion location. Okay? Where is his new position? Should he go before Baha? Should he go after Baha? Should he go after Majid? Should he go after Yahya at the end? Where should he go? So we want to find his insertion location. So how do we do this? We need to locate the new node's predecessor. Who is the new node? Umar is the new node. In order to insert him into the list, we must find his predecessor. What is predecessor? It is the node that comes before him. Your predecessor is the one that comes before you. So we must find his predecessor. Okay? This is the first step. Determine his insertion point. Ma'ana. Locate the predecessor of Umar, of the new node. So we need to find the node that will come immediately before where he should be. So he should be after Majid, but before Yahya. He should be after Majid when we insert him. So what is his predecessor? Majid. Okay? Then we must point the new node to his successor. We need to point Umar to his successor. What is successor? The node that comes after you. These two words, you will know them. You must know them and you will know them. Predecessor, the node that comes before you. Successor, the node that comes after you. على طول. So if we put Umar right here, who is the predecessor? Majid. Who is the successor? Yahya. Me معي? Okay? So step 1, make Umar. Step 2, find, where do we insert Umar? We have to find Majid. So we find Majid. Step 3, we make Umar point to Yahya, the successor. How? ننتظر. Step 4, we point the predecessor to the new node. Okay? Step 4 is we need to point the predecessor to the new node. Okay? So very quickly, Baha, can you point to Majid? Majid, can you point to Yahya? Yahya, can you point up? We want to insert Umar. So step 1, make Umar. Step 2 is find the insertion point. Khalas, we will show you later. How do we find? But we find it. We find out that the insertion point is after Majid. And a help pointer. I'm pointing to Majid. We find that this is Majid, who is the predecessor. Step 3, we need to make Umar point to Yahya. من يعرف عنوان يحيى الآن؟ Majid. وبالضبط the next of Majid. So, أنا help pointer. I will get the next of Majid and I will save it into the next of Umar. So now you will also point to Yahya. No, you're still pointing over there. So right now we have Baha, Majid, Yahya. So that's the list. But now Umar is pointing to Yahya. Come on. Who's with me? The last step is I will make the predecessor point to the new node. Because this new node, it has an unwan, yes? I will take the unwan of this new node and I will put it where? I will put it into the next of Majid. So now Majid will point this way. Baha, Majid, Umar. And Umar is pointing to Yahya. This is the idea. Put your hands on. This is the idea.
I believe that if they saw it on the board, it would be...
So this is what we do. So step 2 is determine our insertion point. Okay? Step 2, determine our insertion point. For this insertion point, we need to find the location of the new node's predecessor. Okay? We need to find the location of the predecessor for Umar, which is Majid. I say fil aam, there are 4 ihtimalat. Maybe the list is empty. Idhan, there will not be a predecessor for Shaykh Umar. Yes? He will be the first node. He will not have a predecessor. Okay? Or, maybe we only have one person in the list, Yahya. So Umar will come before Yahya alphabetically. Yes? So therefore, again, maybe there will not be a predecessor for Umar. Not because the list is empty, but because when we examine the list, nudrik, that Umar must be the first node. Who's with me? Because we say that his value, the value of Umar, is smaller than the first node. Okay? It could be that the new node is the last node of the list. Okay? Maybe we only have one node or two node, Baha and Majid. Bas. Umar will come all the way at the end. So, who is his predecessor? Majid. Or fil Am, who is his predecessor? The previous last node. Like if I have a list that is 1,000 long, but we see that Umar will go at the end. So who is his predecessor? The last node that was at the end, before we add him. The fourth possibility is this new node, Umar, will go somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle of the list, and his predecessor is somewhere in the list. So I say that we will use sorted link lists. So we must insert at the correct position. Okay? I say, however, for the sake of ease, to make our sharh easy, we will do this step by step. So what is the goal, al-hadaf, for today? The goal is we want to insert Umar at his correct position between Majid and Yahya. This is the goal for today. Okay, this is the goal. And this is easy. But we will give a lot of sharh. But to make it really easy, we say, خلاص, شيئا فشيئا. For the sake of ease, we say, first, let us just assume, or نتخيل, pretend, that we only add nodes at the front, not inserted order. Just to have practice, we want to try to practice inserting Umar, where? Only at the front, in front of Baha. Okay? Because this will be easy to do. We want to practice inserting him into our list. Okay? Now you're leaving? After your question? Okay? Because you asked a question about to be easy on the board. It will be on the slides. Go ahead. It will be on the slides coming up. So, we assume for ease, to make the sharh easy, that we will insert only at the front. Okay? I say, of course, this method will modify, this method that we will make, it will modify our reference to the front of the list, right? If I am head, I am the mutadayr head, or my list. It depends on what name you use. So, I'm pointing to Baha. If we add a node in front of Baha, Umar, what must happen? I must point to Umar, because I have one goal in my life. If I'm the head pointer, I have one goal in my life. He said, هدف واحد في حياتي. What is it? To point to the first node. Only one goal, to point to the first node. So if the first node is Baha, وبعدين the first node is Umar, I must change where I point to. So here I say, of course, in this method, we will modify the reference to the head of the list. So we want to add to the front of the list. احتمالين. The list could be empty. We're adding Umar to an empty list. Or, let me just finish this. So if we're adding Umar to an empty list, where does head point to? No, because it's empty. Okay? Or, we have an existing list. Already we have a list of many nodes, but Umar will go at the front. We want to look at both of these scenarios. Insertion into an empty list. So if this is what we have, our list is empty, and we want to add Umar, we want to add this node number 4, what will happen? This. صح? My list will point to 4, and then this node will point to no. But it will point to the same thing that my list was pointing to. كان يشير إليه. Yes? So it will point to the same thing. So Or if we want to insert at the head of the list, we have this list. We want to insert this value at the front. How do we do that? What we will do is we will make this node point to this node. Okay? Then we will make my list point to the 2. And we will do it step by step. So we want to look at the code for this. If you remember, here's our node, here's our class from last time. We have an int data, and we have an LO node next. This is what is most important. Here's our code. Well, actually, remember I told you. Where is this insert method going to be? The insert method is going to be inside this linked list class. Because we told you, this linked list class has methods, many methods, that are used to control your list. Insert, delete, search, traverse, print. All of those methods are inside this class. So here we have the class, we have our mutaghayyir, muhim, my list, or head, whatever you call it. We have our constructor, and here's our methods. We want to write a method add to front. Okay? Add to front. What value? Some value that we give it. Make a method to add a new node to the front of the list. So how would we do this? I want you to think about, I have everything on the slide, but I draw a picture here very quickly. So if our list is, I will say we already have a list. So here is my list. This is the reference. And it's pointing to a list. Okay? It's a big list. We always put the next as a little dot. Okay? We want to make a new node, and we want to insert it at the front. So when I make a new node, this is my new node. Of course, if I want to make a new node, this means that inside this method, I will have to call new, right? You're going to see, it's going to say LO node, temp node, equals new LO node. Are you with me? We're going to make a new node. The new node is going to have some value. This is going to be the value. And the new node is going to point somewhere. Yes? It depends, if you remember, on the constructor. We have many constructors of the new node. What is the first constructor? If we make a new LL node, so new LL node with only a value 4, what happens? We will get a node. This will be 4, and this will go to null. So, what if we make a new node and we have 2 parameters, 4, comma, something? What is this something? It's the unwan for the next. So here, this would make a new node. This would have the value 4. And what would be the unwan for next? We would get it from this. Yes? So you will see what we're going to do is if I want to insert this node right here, that means that this node must point to this node. So, who's with me? So where is the unwan of this node? It's in my list. Yes? Who agrees with this? So watch. What we're going to do is I'm going to say new LL node value, which is the number, int value, comma, my list. Make a new node with the value, and make the unwan of the next to this node, make it point to the same unwan الذي my list يشير إليه. This is horrible, right? Make it go to the same unwan. So this will now point here. Who follows? Mia b'mia? This is the idea. Then, where do we save this? So remember, an assignment, if I say x equals 2, what does that mean? It says save 2 into x. So here, we make a new node. What is the natija of this whole thing? What is the natija? We have a node. We have a node. The natija is we have a node. And what is this? This node, it is an unwan. So this whole thing, the natija is, right here, new. It's a new address. Take this address of the node and save it where? Save it into my list. So now, my list will point here. That's it, in one line. In one line. Who follows? In one line. Of course, what if the list is empty? This is going to null. The same line. The same line does it. If I say make a new list, make a new node, again, the list is empty. We want to make a new node at the front. I want to show you the code is the same, the one line. Make a new node. Give the value as the value. And what is the next of this new node? It's the same unwan as my list. What is the unwan of my list? Null. It's the same unwan as my list. It's null. And now, all of this new LO node value my list, what is the natija? We have a node with an unwan, and we must save this unwan into my list. So what is the natija? My list points here. Either way, one line, it does both of the ihtimalain. Who's with me? This is our idea. The value is just whatever. On our mithal, I came back to here and I said, remember, on our small mithal, our node, what is the data? It's just an integer, int data. So on your, what are you doing right now? You're doing students? Remind me. I coded it just last night. What is this first project you do? First program you're doing? FCIT Bagada, right? So your node could be students or sales, whatever. So here, your data could be many things. But on our method, what is data? It's just an integer. Okay? But it could be tawil. Maybe an ID number plus a first name, last name, email, this, that, GPA. So here, it's just an integer. So what is this value? You ask me, what is this value right here? We're trying to add a new node. Well, what is the data of the new node? Just an integer. So value is whatever value we are adding. Okay, so maybe inside main, you say, do you want to add a new node to the list? Like I showed you, my program for linked list. I said, do you want to add a new node? Yes. What value? 8. You pick it. You pick the value. You add 8. What do you want to do now? Add a new node. What value? 4. This is 4. What do you want to do now? Add a new node. What value? 27. This will be 27. You understand? Okay? So, this is the one line. This one line takes care of everything. One line. And we now give the sharh with pictures. Okay? So here, I say we make this method add to front. What arguments do we send to the method? How many? We send 2 arguments to the method. We send value and we send my list. I'm sorry. MashaAllah. I'm following what you say. I ask you how many arguments do we have to the method, and I'm pointing here. One argument to the method add to front. We have a method add to front. We have one argument. What is the one argument? The value that we want to add. Okay? We have one argument, the value. The method is void. It does not return anything. Okay? Within this method, what do? We make a new node, and we set the new node as the head of the list. So this new node must point to the previous node. We make a new node with the value, and we set this new node as the head of the list. So now my list must point to the new node. Okay? So in detail. Yes?
So if our linked list have more than one decimal, such as ID, we send it as a whole or every data member send it.
What do you mean every data member send it?
Like here, you have just the integer value.
Okay.
If you have maybe two, that's
There's many ways you could do that. If you wanted to, let me answer this one quickly, then I'll move on. If you have, I could write on the board, but I figure it'd be easier to do this. Where's our hold on. Notepad format? I'll tell you what would normally be done, okay? Because you'll probably read this from a file. But so what was our method? We had public void add to front. So public void add to front int value. Yes? So you're saying, what if you had other things? Well, it depends. Where do you get to this value? On this method, we get the value from main. Maybe we read it from the user. What value do you want to insert? 8? Okay, and we send the value. Or maybe in main we say we have 3 data. Value or first name, last name. Say do you want to insert a new node? Yes. What is the value? What is the first name? What is the last name? And then we send all of them to here. So we would do int value string fname string lname. واضح? But better than this, if you have many data members that you read, what you will normally do is you would before you call this method, you will make a node. So inside your main, you would have like said LL node, or be called student node or something, right? It would really called student temp method, temp node equal new student. Then we would read everything into temp node. Yes, temp node dot set. How do you say set ID? Right. Temp node dot set ID as input dot get next. Are you with me or no? We're reading from the input file, right? Okay. وبعدين temp node dot set fname input dot next. Something like this. You'd read from the input file. So then finally, when you want to do the add to front, when you want to call the add to front method, we're not going to send ID, first name, last name. No, we're just going to send temp node. So here, this would be student temp node. Okay? This is the idea. We'll get to this later. But you can send many things. So add to front. I want to finish the sharh. I already gave you the sharh. I give you the sharh always 2 times. I do it maybe once on the board, once with the mithal. Then I show you. I ask you, Mimai. Everybody says yes. Then I show it to you on the slide. Just so when you go home, you can understand the slide. But you already said you are with me. This is just giving it to you a second time. So one line of code does the job. Okay, so you will see. Some of you are new. I put animation inside the slide for you, little bit for me, but I put it for you. So if whenever you see animation, you know animation when something moves around and stuff. If you see animation, I need you to be excited. Okay, so you can say wow. Ooh. Okay, so here we go. Let's do it again. Wow, ممتاز, كويس. Okay, so you will see this animation. So I need some wow and oohs. It helps us stay awake. So we take this one, we send over the data value. Okay, that's what we do. We send over this data value. We then make a new node, and we invoke new. This is the istid'a for the constructor. Which constructor? The one with 2 parameters. The one with 2 parameters. Okay, we send over the value, and we send the second argument, my list. Well, what is this my list? It's the unwan of the first node. Right, you're saying my list is the head. صح. But في الحقيقة, what is my list? It's the unwan of the first node. Okay, so as I showed you, we have this picture. Here's a node pointing to a node, pointing to a node, right? So my list is the unwan of the first node. So we want to make a new node with a value, and we want the next of this node to point to here. Man يعرف عنوان of the first node? My list. So when we make our new node, we send two arguments. Value, كمان, the متغير, my list, which is the عنوان of the first node. ليه? Because we want the new node to point to this first node. Okay? This is the idea. I say think about that. Before this one line of code executes, أسألكم, what does my list point to? The first node. My list will point to the first node. It refers to the front of the list, which could be the first node if we have a list, or null if we don't have a list. Okay? It could be null if the list is empty, or it could be a reference to the first node. If the list is empty, my list will have null. If the list is empty, my list will be null. This value of null will get saved into here, which is fine. Okay? It makes sense because now this second node, well, now it's the first node, this new node will point to null. This is acceptable. This is what we want. So, what's next? And this makes sense. Yes, yes, yes. Where were we on the slides? So if it has a null reference, we did this. Fine. Finish this one. I'll get to the next reference. If the list is not empty, my list will have a reference for the first node. So, if the list is not empty, my list will have a reference for this first node. And this reference must get saved into this next. Yes? Who's with me? This reference of the first node, we must save the unwan of this first node right here into the next of the new node. Okay, why? Because we need this new node. This new node must point to the old first node. And then finally, my list must refer to this new node. So we must take this entire address and save it into my list. So as we showed you on the example, so else if the list is not empty, we make the new node. Here we make the new node. We set its next to point to 4, this node 4. Then what do? We make my list point to this guy, like this. This is the idea. Okay? With me? Who's with me? Who understands that? 100%. We said, what is al-hadaf for today? Insert anywhere in the list. We said shay'an fa shay'an. First we insert only at the beginning. Now we say, let's pretend we insert only at the end of the list. We insert only at the end of the list. We want to insert Umar after Baha, after Majid, after Yahya. We want to put Baha right here. And who must point to, we want to point Umar right here. And who must point to Umar? Yahya. The next of Yahya should have the unwan of Umar. So this we must do. So what is the main difference? The main difference between adding at the front, adding at the end. It's one word. What's the main difference? Traverse. I heard the word from many people. Mumtaz. The main difference is traverse. We must traverse the list hatta we find the last node, and he will be the predecessor. So, he will be the predecessor, the node that will come before Umar. Okay? This is the idea. The code won't change a lot, but the method is different. Why? We said traversing. We must traverse to the end of the list. Okay? So I said, here's the pretty picture. We want to add 6 at the end. This is what we want to do. Here's our code. Let's just look at the code quickly. I don't even think I give a big sharh. No. Good. So void. Add to end. This is Umar. Some value. Okay? Now, I said we want to add to the end. We want to add Umr to the end of the list. But, is it possible the list is empty? And we will add him to the end. صح? But the end command is the first, right? It's also the end, if the list is empty. This is an ihtimal. So here, we must check if my list is null. ما معنى my list is null? We don't have a list. It's empty. I could just say if is empty. ونستدعي المethod is empty, صح? We have a method is empty. I could do that. If my list is null, what do? I need to make our new node, Umar. I need to make the new node, save the value in the new node, and make my list point to him. Bas. Who's with me? That should be easy. That's that one line of code right here. If our list is empty, so this points to null, what do I need to do? I need to add him at the end. وين الend? فين الend? The first node. So I'm going to make a new node. I'm going to save the value into it. I'm going to make the next of Umar point to null. Finally, I'm going to save all of this into my list. Done. Who's with me? 100%? غير ذلك ما معنى غير ذلك؟ ممتاز. ما معنى غير ذلك? Else. One student. ما معنى غير ذلك? It's not empty. عندنا a list. So what did we say we must do? We must traverse to the end of the list. I hope all of you know how to traverse to the end of the list. How do we do this? We have the while loop. We have our LO node help pointer equals my list. So this is from last time. While help pointer dot next does not equal to null. Is that different? This is different. For the traverse loop, سابقا we have while help pointer does not equal to null. Are you with me? Listen, Shabab, this is a small difference, مهم جدا. So, I want to print the list. Bas, print the list. From Baha, Majid, Yahya. أنا help pointer. The code is while help pointer does not equal null. Not help pointer dot next, help pointer. For printing the list. While help pointer does not equal to null. And a help pointer. Are you null? No. I print you, I traverse. While help pointer does not null. Are you null? I print you, I traverse. Are you null? I print you, I traverse. While help pointer is not null. Are you null? If. This works for printing. But what if I want to insert? If I want to insert and I use the same thing and I want to go to the end of the list. Are you the end of the list? No, traverse. Are you the end of the list? No, traverse. While help pointer is not null. Are you the end of the list? No. While help pointer is not null. Well, you're null. طيب, I found the end of the list. Let's insert Umar. Okay, but how do I insert Umar? Because to insert Umar, I must have the predecessor. Where am I pointing right now? I'm pointing to the value after the predecessor, to null. Is there any faida? No. So when you insert, muhim, when you insert into your list, you must stop the traversal at the predecessor. Which means we will always look one value ahead of the predecessor. We will look one value in front of, ahead of the predecessor. So while help pointer dot next does not equal to null. Is your next null?
No.
Point. You point. Is your next null?
No.
No. طيب, shukran. I'm not at the end. Is your next null? You point. Is your next? Is he null? Your next value. Your next. Is it null? Or are you pointing to null or are you pointing to a person? Okay, so is your next, is it null? No. Is your next null? No. Ma'ana, I'm not at the end. Then I traverse. Is your next, is it null? I stop. مين معي? The difference is very small, but muhim jiddan. So I'm checking, is your next null? Yes. Now I stop. So when I stop the traversal, where am I pointing? I'm pointing to the predecessor. On this mithal, I'm pointing to the last node. So that's what this is. While help pointer dot next does not equal to null, I just traverse. I traverse, hatta I stop. And when I stop, where am I pointing? The last node. Okay, so now, what if we have this? You give me the line of code. Oh, it's already written. Watch how easy this is. If you understand, this is very easy. So we have this list. I'll do it like this. No. This is our list. We use help pointer to traverse. So after we do all of this, Asadukum, where is help pointer pointing? Help pointer is right here. So it's not pointing to null. Help pointer stops at the last node. Yes? So now we said al-hadaf, we want to make a new node with the value, and this is the last al-hadaf, is we want the new node to be at the end. So what is the next of the new node going to be? Null, because it's at the end. So it will point to null. So you don't need to put any other unwan. You can just put null. So we want to make a new node. It should point to null. And we want to save the unwan of this new node. We want to save it right here. Bidabt. We want to save it into the next of the last node. من يعرف مكان the last node? إذا من يعرف the عنوان of the next of the help node? Help.next. So this is why we have new hello node, value. You could put value comma null. If you put just one value, the default, it will be null. The unwan, if you remember the constructor. We have this, the keyword this, we call the second constructor with null. Or you could just put null here explicitly. You could put null here. We make a new node, value comma null, and we save the unwan of the new node into help pointer dot next. Who's with me? This is the idea. Okay? That's it. That's the idea for this one. I need pictures from you guys. Again, I show this in America, everybody laughs, they think this is so funny, wow, this is so, it's called human stupidity, they say, wow, this is crazy. I show it here, they say, this is عادي. هذا شارعي. This is my street. I don't know. So, actually, I don't know where this is from. It's not Saudi. Where does it look like it's from? Egypt? I don't know. I'm trying to look up here at the house and stuff. Yeah, it's not Middle East, that's for sure. Maybe. But still, anyway. Somebody did point out, but he was smart, that he put a rock. They said, this is what they said, at least he put a rock. Okay, so we said the goal for today, in 10 minutes, is we want to add to the middle of the list. We want to add at the correct location. Al-hadaf, خلاص عمر وينتظر. He wants to go in the list finally. This is his goal. He wants to go in the list between Majid and between Majid and Yahya. So we must find his correct location. We said this is the goal for today, but shay'an for shay'an, first we practice adding at the front. Ba'dain we practice adding at the end. Because all of these are ihtimalat. Okay? Even if you add at the correct location. Maybe his correct location is the front. Maybe his correct location is the end. Maybe in the middle. So now we're ready to look at the whole picture. The big picture. So adding to the middle of the list. I say think about what must happen. We are inserting a new node between two other nodes. So the new node must point to the successor. Amr must point to Yahya. Okay? And then the address of the new node must be saved بعدين into the predecessor. This is how it works. The address must then be saved into the predecessor. So if you can point very quickly, can you point? Khalid, point to Majid. Khalid, point to Majid. Majid, point to Yahya. Everybody, Yahya, can you point out? Everybody following? Look at the picture. This is what we have. We want to insert Umar. So what must happen, and it must happen, muhim, in this order. First, we must make Umar point to Yahya. Who knows where is Yahya? No, actually, help pointer. So, but who knows where is Yahya? The next of Majid. And I will know where is Majid is, because we did a traversal looking for the predecessor. So the next of Majid has the unwan of Yahya. We take the unwan of Yahya, which is right here. It's right here in the next of Majid. Yes? You have the unwan of Yahya. We take this unwan and we copy it and we put it in the unwan of Umar, in the next of Umar. Asif, we put it in the next of Umar. Who's with me? Now Umar points to Yahya. That's step one. Step two is we have to take the unwan of Umar and save it into the next of Majid. So now Majid will point to Umar. This is how we add our new node in the list. So it must happen in this order. So the question I ask you, well, here's the pictures. Khalas. We can skip the picture. This is important. I think it's coming up, but I'll ask you now. What if we do it opposite? What if I did the order opposite? If first I make Majid point to Umar, بعدين we make Umar point to Yahya. What's the problem? Because if we point, can you point? And I say, take the unwan of Umar and we save it into Majid.next على طول. And we point. Now we say, okay Umar, point to Yahya. No, you cannot. من يعرف مكان يحيى? Nobody. Nobody knows where is Yahya right now. Who yabki? Who's with me? Does anybody know where he is? No, and actually Java just deleted him. Java deleted him because nobody's pointing to him. Okay, this is very important that we do not lose our nodes. So we have this 6, we want to add 6 in the middle. This is the goal. So step 1, we make the new node. Step 2 is we find the predecessor. We find the predecessor. Step 3 is we make the new node. We make the new node 6. We make Umar point to Yahya. We make the new node 6 point to 8. So this happens first. We make the new node point to the successor. The last step is we make the predecessor, Majid, point to Umar. We make the 4 point to the 6. That's the last step. Very important that they happen in that order. Okay? So again, I say we must first make the new node. We must first make the new node point to the successor. Then, and only then, can we make the predecessor point to the new node. Why do we do it in this order? So we do not lose Yahya. Who's with me?
How can I know the predecessor, the correct value?
The location?
Yeah, the location.
In the code coming up. Okay? So we already answered this. So, adding nodes to a sorted list, we're now ready to do it. The code I will show you on the next slide takes care of all of the ihtimalat, and we have 4 minutes. So we probably won't even finish the code, but we will do the sharh in the class. You can look at the code later. So here's our insert method. This method is where? It is inside the linked list class. Insert a value. So first we must take care of inserting this. We want to insert Umar at his correct location. So now we have to take care of all of the ihtimalat. Maybe his correct location is at the beginning of the list. ليه؟ ممكن the list is empty. صح? ممكن the list is not empty, but he's the first node. So we have to take care of that. First, we take care of insertion into empty list or insertion at the front of a non-empty list. That's this right here. If my list is null, if the list is empty, we insert him, right? Make a new node with the value Umar, with my list is null, and we save it into my list. Done. That should be clear, biduni sharh, because it's the same sharh. Or, what if Umar is smaller than the current first node? So, or we say, what if my list.data, if the first node is bigger than the value that we're trying to insert? So the value at the first node is bigger than Umar. Umar should be the first node. صح؟ Me mine? That's what this tests for. If my list.data, if the data of the first node is bigger than value, this means that value, khalas, it should be the first node. This is the idea. So we insert. غَيْرَ ذَلِكَ. What does that mean? The insertion spot is somewhere ba'dain. Maybe at the end, maybe somewhere in the middle, somewhere ba'dain. We must find the predecessor. Okay? So we must traverse. What does this mean we need? Help pointer. We need a help pointer. صح? Shabab, me mine, 2 minutes. You gotta. This is the most important 2 minutes. You gotta wake up. It's a long class, right? The brain is jelly. You got 2 minutes. Help pointer. We need to traverse. Okay? So, this is our while loop. This is the very important while loop. You need to know this 100%. This is the while loop. Notice the condition of the while loop. While help pointer dot next does not equal to null. We did the same condition, صح? Why is it dot next? لأن نبغى نقف عند predecessor. On the last مثال آخر واحد. Yes. But now we want to stop where? At the predecessor. Okay? So here we have a while loop, and we want to stop at the predecessor. So we have help pointer dot next does not equal to null. So now what are we going to do? I'm going to check the data value of one node in front of help pointer. I will show you we have 1 minute. I'll show you with an example. Can you point? And a help pointer. I'm going to say while where's my help pointer dot next. Is your next, is it null? No. So now I need to see. If help pointer dot next dot data, help pointer dot next dot data, is your data value, is your data value, is it bigger than Umar? Is your name Majid, is it bigger than Umar? Alphabetically, is M bigger than you? No, M asghar. M is asghar. But I'm asking you, are you bigger? Al-jawab, la. Then what do? I do not break. I traverse. Because I was at you. Help pointer's here. Help pointer's here. Help pointer dot next dot data. Are you bigger than Umar? La. طيب, I traverse. Is your next, you're pointing this way, is your next null? Al-jawab la. Okay, so he's not null. Al-an ana shuf. I look at him. Help pointer dot next dot data. But I'm going from help pointer. Help pointer dot next dot data. Are you bigger than Umar? Is Yahya bigger than Umar? Yes. Qif. Who's with me? I stop and I break. What is break from 202? Break from the if? Break from the loop, from the while. Break. So Ethan al-an, where is help pointer? At the predecessor. Me ma'ai shabab? Help pointer is where? Hands high if you're with me. Help pointer is where? At the predecessor. This is what this loop does. Help pointer is at the predecessor, and now there's just one line. This is the one line. We're out of time. I always say I don't keep you. I might have to keep you. This is the one line. What do we do? What do we do with this one line?
We make a new node.
We want to insert right here. We want to insert right here. So what do? We make the new node. So help pointer is pointing right here. This is help pointer, pointing to Majid, and Majid is pointing to. So here is Baha, Majid, Yahya. Okay, and so now we make a new node with Umar. We make the point. We make Umar the next of Umar. What do we put here? We put the unwan of. Well, we put the unwan of Yahya. So من يعرف عنوان يحيى? The next of Majid, which is help pointer.next, صح? So this is going to be help pointer.next, صح? So we make a new node with Umar and with help pointer.next. Who's with me? Quick, who's with me? Now, so now this right here points to here. And now we save this new node. We save this new node. It needs to come right here. So we need to make what? This new node in the next of Majid. How do we save the new node into the next of Majid? Because what is Majid? Help pointer. Help pointer is pointing to Majid. So we save the new node, all of the new node, into help pointer.next. That is the end. I took an extra 2.5 minutes. Any question? We're done. Who came late? Anybody? Anybody late? No? خلاص. Make sure you start your program.